All right.
One more. Per- Perfect. We're on.
We are ready. Now we just need to see Rita's beautiful face.
I
Hi,
know. Look at
and
my production over there.
I
Executive
love it.
Mindset presents.
Yes, I love that. That was a lot of fun. So we want to welcome you to tonight's call. We know that there are things going on in people's life that aren't easy to deal with. I personally just spoke with my good friend who I didn't realize 3 years ago her mom was going through Alzheimer's and needing memory help. And in the meantime, she ended up having a nervous breakdown because of all the care and the excess effort without knowing what to do to take care of herself. And that was a real big eye opener for me. Like, here I have friends that like this is what I do for a living and they're struggling and not opening up and not knowing where to turn really and maybe um maybe you guys are like me and you've tried therapy or maybe you've tried drugs prescription drugs or maybe you've tried yoga or meditation or all of these or visualizations and the reason it's not working is just because the brain doesn't uh isn't working with you. So your brain's not actually in the flow of uh creating that desire. It's working against you. And that's what we call, right? People call it sabotaging. And so we just want to introduce you to this line of work, a little bit of the skills that we've learned and how much has changed our life, and tell you some stories. Hopefully, you relate to them. And really, we don't want you to ever feel like you're alone. And we want you to know that we think more than anything that you are worthy and you are so important. And the reason then all you need to know is believe that. And once you believe that in your memories, in your past, in all of your experiences, then that automatically changes the way the brain relaxes and believes and moves into your future that you want and you love. So, welcome, Rita Wood and Tammy Magnuson, here to introduce you and bring you along on this ride.
Hello. And yes, welcome. So just want to let you know that you are live on Executive Mindset Live Coaching. So if you don't want to see your face live, that's fine. You can just turn off your screens. Otherwise, I want to welcome you. And there is so much, but yet we want to really slow it down. So today's topic was how to stop
Overreact.
overreacting, how to stop overwhelm, how to stop, what was the other one?
Overreacting, overwhelm, and
Where are my notes?
exhaustion. I don't know.
It
They
was
all are
another,
about the same.
it was another overthinking,
Oh, yes, yes,
overthinking.
yes.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, our part of our brain loves to analyze, this is the mechanics of the brain. So we deal with the mechanics of the brain. And that's why as brain trainers, we know how the brain works and some of the things that you need to do to just take the reins, right? Tammy's a horseback rider. So she knows what it means. What happens to if you don't take the reins of the horse?
Well, it depends on your horse. But if your horse is scared, it's going to protect itself first. It's not going to think about you at all. Like they will run over you, they will run over you, they're going to do what it takes to protect themselves. And that's kind of what your subconscious is doing. Yeah.
Exactly. So what's really important is that you get some basic framework, and the basic framework is that you're not broken. There's nothing wrong with you. It's a coping mechanism. Overreacting is a coping mechanism.
Right.
Overwhelmed is a coping mechanism. Overthinking is a coping mechanism. And so when you take the reins back and you start driving your own bus, you will be empowered to make decisions and make choices. Yes?
Yes.
Does that make sense? And you know what? We were never taught that because it wasn't common knowledge. We grow up learning what our parents, when we were born into an environment. right? The environment was already set for you, right? And that you learn their behaviors. They had their problems already and their coping mechanisms and their skills and their talents, right? And then we learn from them, because when you're, from, I don't know, I was gonna say 0 to 7, we are absorbing information. How do the parents walk? How do the parents talk? How do I keep that type of response from my parent? For me, I'm going to behave this way, or I'm going to behave this way because I need to get what my needs met. So, and that's just the mechanics of the brain. That is the survival part of us. So we start learning and we start creating identities. Then we start saying, this is who I am. And we have a whole because I'm this color, I'm that color, I'm that religion, I'm this you know sex. Right? And
Yeah.
so when you know the foundations of that mindset, then you become aware. What happens is we grow up and we keep those. We
Mm-hmm.
keep that knowledge, we keep that information in areas that we don't even know that pop up. Oh, Tammy, they pop up.
They
And what
do.
happens?
So the pop-ups, so the big emotional events in your childhood take a strong place at the top of, call it at the top of your neuro programmer, okay? So those emotional events tell the body how to react. So if you've ever felt like, how come I'm sweating? How come my heart is racing? And this isn't even a big deal, you know? That's why, because the brain went, oop, pop up, and it popped up this old memory and it said, do that. And so that's the program. So imagine that this is just a computer and it is being pushed. Certain buttons are being pushed. Have you ever been triggered or your buttons are pushed, right? That's a that's a metaphor for actually what is happening inside of your brain. So that button's pushed and it goes, oh, I know what to do. We go back here to when we were 3 years old and dad did this. And so now, boom, I do that. And that's it. And it's not what we want to do. It's not who we are, but it's what we saw, what we felt, what we heard way back when. And those things have precedence because that's the pattern that the brain loves, right?
Yeah.
So those pop-ups, we find out what they are when it comes time to be pressured, right? Then those things are the ones that kind of are like those little guards that pop up and go, oh, protect yourself, run, hide, fight. And those are the ones that are our survival,
Yeah.
not in
And
our
we,
best interest.
right. And so then we start asking the wrong question, which is why? Why do I have these problems? Why? And so depending on what doctrine you or dogma or politics or depending on what you believe, you are going to live through that. Okay, so if I'm Christian, I have this problem because I'm a sinner. I'm broken. I haven't received or what have you. If your why is in the field of the medical world, it's because you have a diagnosis. You have a symptom. If you are a uh, if you are what's another if you're it's maybe because you're Democrat or Republic, is it Republic, is that Republican? you know and when we get superstitious, it's because you were born on this day, and we get it's because you haven't received all the gifts from up above, or because you have a block, and we believe that it's because our experiences are recorded in as memories,
Right.
right? And so that's how we learn to operate in the world. Not only that did we learn how to operate, but we hang out with people who are like-minded, who react the same way, who are overwhelmed the same way, and because we could identify with those type of people. So what we hold inside as information, what we hold inside as experiences or code of operation, we That's a metaphor. What happens out here in the world is a metaphor of what we hold inside. And I think that's a little bit hard to conceive, Tammy, right? So you, yeah,
Yeah,
it's kind of,
yeah, it is. It is. But really think about how your thought, like your beliefs and your thoughts are what you are looking for. Okay. So if you make it really, really simple and be like, um, so I've seen Tony Robbins do this. He says, look in my room, find all the gold colors. Okay. Find all the gold colors and just close your eyes and tell me all the gold things you saw. So you saw my seahorse, you saw my picture frame. And then with your eyes closed, tell me all the red things or maroon things. And nobody can name them because that's not what you were looking for. And so that's the idea of how what we're looking for in the world is what shows up. It's not some mystical, magical woo woo thing. This is a logical process for what your brain is searching. Okay. So if you believe you're a victim, then it doesn't matter. Have you ever seen people like that? They walk in a room and they're like, they don't like me and they're after me. And you're like, what? I never saw that. You didn't see it, but they did. And that's their reality and that's their truth. And if you believe you're a victim, then everybody is after you and you're going to notice that. Or if you believe because you're a woman or because you're a child, then you're less than, or you know, something more is expected out of you, then you're going to see that, you're going to notice it. So that's really what we're talking about when we talk about these metaphors and the way that our brain is set up to focus. It's very logical and it makes a lot of sense when we see it that way. So yeah, tell us more. I'm
tell
listening
you more.
recently. I'm listening recently, and I love this because it fits in so well with this model. And I know where Rita's going is to talk about the upper model of the world, because the lower model of the world is to look at all of those. Like it's their fault, it's his fault, it's the star's fault, it's my parents' fault, it's the day I was born's fault, it's my color, my sex, my size, my age, whatever.
Yeah.
And we want to look out to that, but
What do we call that? What do we call that? What you just mentioned?
the lower model of the world, lower model thinking.
And that's just a framework. You
Yep.
know, guys, this look, we're not saying this is true. We're not saying this is right. Just try it on. And if it empowers you and it allows you to have your power back, then have it, right?
Yes.
So try it on, and if that yeah, yeah, if it
Yeah.
gives you power, use it. If it doesn't, drop it. Take what you like and leave the rest. I love that.
Exactly. We don't want, because we know that it's all based on your beliefs anyways. So really, but this understanding of your belief and how you can empower yourself from within instead of blaming. And that's what it's all about, is we lose our power as soon as we give someone else that ability to have power over us. And that really is a victim mindset. So I was there, man, it was tough. Should I tell a little bit about the story or? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So, so as a victim, my, my life was looking to, my mom did this, so I'm like that. My dad did this, so I'm like that. My husband is, you know, unbearable. So it's okay for me to react and respond. And I don't have any control over what's actually going on in my life. Like I'm feeling helpless. And then what do? I overreact, I overthink, and I am overwhelmed because I've never looked inside to see what am I doing inside my head? What are my thoughts? Because it's really what you're thinking. And I didn't know how to control them. And I tried and tried and tried, and trying was making it worse. And that's because it's very counterproductive to brain training. Trying isn't how we create a pattern, except it creates the trying pattern. And the trying pattern leaves us always looking for something more and never being satisfied. And so in my story, finding out in the end that my husband had cheated on me several times. I had 3 kids. I turned in, as a single mom. And here I am looking like he did this to me. Right. Yeah. And so now I have lost all sense of my own self and my own worth, given it up. So it was great to find that there are other options and to know that my thoughts can be changed when I know the resources that are going on. What I see, what I hear, and what I feel is what I'm creating. And getting to use my imagination for a whole different story if it's not happening right now. So we talk about this as hypnosis, okay? Hypnosis is anytime you are not in the present. So anything you think about in the past is just a state of hypnosis. It's a state of you remembering something and your body saying, oh no, it's happening right now. I'm going to react. We see that with trauma. We see that with pain. Okay. And also the future. So anything we're thinking about in the future, those worries, those fears, those bad imaginations are put in a state of hypnosis. And what happens in hypnosis is when they tell us bark like a dog, we bark, right? When we're thinking the world is going to end, our body goes into that state of the world is going to end. And that's when we start overreacting, overthinking, and being overwhelmed, right? So if it's not happening right now, notice that is a state that's in your control. You can use your imagination. All right. What's next, Rita?
This type of mindset I think is good for everyone, right? But if you're sick and you're tired and you're drained and you're depleted and you're emotionally unstable, if you are overreacting because someone said one word, a 4-letter word, and you overreact, really, where's the issue? Where's the issue? So if you're emotionally unstable, if you're jealous, if you hate, like, why would you hate anything? Those are the things we start looking into, like, oh, I hate this. Guys, we should be neutral. That's where the power is. If you can be neutral, then you can have choice consciously, right? If you have sadness or a broken heart, if you have trauma and pain, some brain training can really alleviate stress, right? It could start improving your health, improving how you think. It could start allowing you to sleep better. The benefits are like, just stop feeling lost. Like, how many of us are like lost, or we can't stop eating, or we can't stop bitching, and we can't stop complaining about this person, that. I can cuss, can I? And I think we like to have fun. We're human, we make mistakes, and it's okay, and we can learn from it, and we can change. I think the hardest part, though, for some people is change, right? Because it's the unknown. Like, who would you be without the thought that you are overwhelmed? Like, who would you be? How would you act? You would take a couple deep breaths in, out, and you're just like present, available, right? Like, who would you be if you weren't overreacting? Like, you could actually probably hear the other person for the first time, right? Right? What about inner peace? Would you have more inner peace? More compassion? Look, guys, we need compassion for ourselves. When we get straight, when we get aligned emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, when we are aligned, wow, can you imagine the power that you would have? that any circumstances could occur, and you're like handling it like a champion. You're like all together, like you're just like present, and you're like making choices, right? What are you getting inspired, Tammy? I feel like you're getting
That's
inspired.
inspiring. Yes. It does. I mean, because this what come to my mind was I was training my dog and I just looked at her and I'm like, the calm you is the best you. And then I was like, oh man, that's like true about humans. Right? And don't we want that? Yeah, because we're like, I remember thinking over and over, like, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? Because when I wouldn't act like myself and I didn't understand where it was coming from, like I was so clueless. I was like, how come I'm acting this way? I don't get it. And I just kept diving deep until I found answers. And it really was already in my brain, and it's already in your brain. And that's all we do is find out what's already inside of you, what's already the reasons that these pop-ups are happening, and also the things that you really want in life. We can help you just discover that and say, this is the authentic me. I love finding that in people and saying, that's not you though. Yeah, you're really angry and you blew up and you did this and did that, but that's not really you. That's your experience speaking up instead of you.
Yeah. There's this thing that I just, it's something happens in our life, right? Something happen, an event, you get married, you get a divorce, you have kids, you lose a kid, you gain weight, whatever, something happens. And then there's what we make it mean, what we make it mean about us, about others, about the world. And then we collapse it. I will never get married again because men are blah, 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 right?
Right.
So you're making decisions, and sometimes you're making unconscious decisions. Sometimes you're just blurting it out, and the subconscious mind grabs it, stores it, and records it. And then when you meet that new person, you're like, oh, I'm not getting married. And there's no logic as to why, because this individual is perfect, right? Or even if you're having sales, if you're in sales and you're like, I just can't make over $10,000 a week, because that would be saying something that your family wasn't good enough, or how can I make more than my dad, or there's stories that we don't even know that are stopping us from being our true authentic self.
Right. Yeah. So let's ask questions. So if you guys have a pen and paper, let's get to work, huh? Should we get to work? Okay, great. So what we want to know is, so the last time, maybe the very last time you felt like I'm overreacting and I don't get it. What is that? What was that response? What was that emotion? And these are good things to just write down so that you kind of have it in front of you to look back at it. But your very last time. Since there's only two of you, you guys can feel free to share anytime, or just write, and we'll lead the.
So for
I'll
those,
share.
okay,
Okay,
good.
great.
I don't know if there's a better word for this, like emotion, but I wrote shut down.
Good. That is perfect. All right. And Maxine has her hand raised. Go ahead. Welcome.
Welcome, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yes,
Yes.
perfectly.
Okay, I felt trapped and afraid.
Good job.
And do I have to tell you the situation?
No.
Yeah, I just,
This is so different than talk therapy, and that's what I love about it. We really want to we'll have you experience it a little bit, but we have some tools that we want to use so that it changes it instead of you having that same story. Okay. Because the same story was going to lead to what? The
The
same
same thing.
results.
It makes a groove in your memory.
Exactly. Perfect. So you're already knowledgeable about this. So that's great. Yep. So you just now that you know trapped and afraid and you know shut down, what I want you both to do is go back and remember the first time or the worst time you felt this.
Okay.
So the shutdown or the trapped and afraid. And these are the memories that drive the same emotion to happen to you. Why it feels so out of control is because you were little.
Then we'll do a Suds rating.
And all you'll need to write down is that title. What title would remind you of it? And we want it to be neutral. So, for instance, we used, there was a big event on Thanksgiving and there was a big fight. Maybe there's a fist fight or whatever. You could write fist fight, but what we want you to write is Thanksgiving. We just want it to be something neutral so that you know when we go back there, it will change and transform. And then you'll have a whole new memory, a whole new identity that started from that place. So, do you both have a remembrance of when it first happened or the worst time it happened?
I can go first. I do.
Okay, perfect.
Um, I'm
And
Maxine.
Maxine, wonderful. So nice to meet you. I'm
Okay.
Tammy. And tell us 0, this incident doesn't bother me, or 10, this is as bad of a thing as I've ever experienced. What number is it at?
It is like a 7 or 8.
Okay, good job. So that's why it shows up, right? When we were talking about those pop-ups, that's why it shows up, because that's a very powerful button. And the emotion, the higher the emotion, the higher the place it has in your brain. That's how the brain works, because it wants you to notice it so it doesn't happen again. But in brain training, we know that as we notice things, we make them happen more, right? That's how come you noticed the gold and that's what you saw and that's all you remembered. All right. And how about for you, Francesca, as you look at it?
Yes. So I put the first title as a 5, and then I have like the worst title as a 10.
Okay. All right, good. So that shutdown feeling. And then I want you guys to describe in your mind, if you had to tell me how to be shut down. Now, I don't want to hear a story in your mind. I don't want you to be like, well, if your boyfriend left you, you would be shut down too. I want you to say, inside my heart, it felt like a 20-pound door slammed shut and it was made of steel. And, like, how would I actually feel that inside my body? So, for instance, when I had a lot of sadness, and like sad was my go-to, like Rita was talking about, I had 2 emotions, anger and frustration, right? For me, it was like sadness and frustration, maybe. For me, it was super amount of sadness. And when someone asked me to describe it, I was like, I had to think about it. And then I was like, oh my word, my sadness is like right here. Like somebody's squeezing my throat. There's a huge ball. I can't swallow. So now if I described how to do that for you, you would go, oh, that's how she does sadness. Like her throat squeezes. Your sadness might feel different, but for me, that's what it feels like. So I want you to know for yourself, because this is getting to know yourself. And what's so powerful about that is this is how you empower yourself. Okay. So think of your shutdown feeling or your trapped and afraid feeling in those terms. How am I doing this inside? Hi, Gio. Welcome. We are live on YouTube. So if you want to keep your video off or change your name, that's perfectly fine. Otherwise, we're already doing some exercises on the last time we felt overwhelmed and overreacted.
What is the name of the YouTube channel to get it on there on
Oh, yeah.
YouTube?
It's
I'll
executive.
share the link for you.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure. No worries. Just you can just get out your pen and paper and you can do this all privately. Okay. So yes, it is Executive Mindset Life Coaching. We'll share with that with you guys later. All right.
Well, with me, I felt I was it felt like an entrapment, like um, I was being laughed at and I couldn't get, I would never be able to get out of this entrapment, but it's not true. But
Yeah.
that's how
So
I
trapped.
feel.
How did you do that inside? Did you feel something gripping your heart? Did you feel a stab?
Yes.
Did you
It's
feel
just, it's an emotion like you're just doomed, like you just, you know, because everyone is sitting laughing at you and you feel like you have a bowl of soup on your head and embarrassed.
a bowl of soup on your head? Okay. So that's a good expression. And also for that trapped feeling, get even more familiar with where you're doing that in your body. Okay.
Okay.
So trapped typically means, something tight or something you can't get out of. Where is that? And the reason this is so good is because I just remember learning this and I thought, I am going to set myself free because if it's inside of me, who gets to be in charge of that sensation?
You do.
Yeah. So once you know that trapped is inside of you and you're like, once I knew that, oh, that's my throat and it's a ball inside my throat and I'm making it up. That's not actually sadness, but that's how my body held the sadness. Then I could help myself release that sensation, and the sensation goes away and then the sadness goes away.
I find that I have to talk myself out of it. Like that's not real, or that's not happening right now, or it was something that was in the past.
Yep.
That's sort of what I do.
Yeah, that's great. You're aware of it and you're you're consoling yourself. You're letting yourself know that. Awesome.
But I don't know where it forms in my body. That's one thing I have to pay more attention to. So I can't answer that question, that part of the question.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
That's fine. We'll get more detailed with that. All right. And then what else would we want to ask? We have the physical sensation, we have the experience, right? The memory. If there's other people in the memory, notice, like for Maxine, she's got people laughing at her. So just notice what this means about you. And these are some of the limiting beliefs that we come up with. So because you're in the shutdown, in the 5 memory, in the 10 memory, what does it mean about you that this is happening to you? It's a really powerful question. And
it means that, well, I'm thinking about it now in retrospect after a lot of, actually they're laughing at me, but they're laughing at things about them. And it means that they feel inadequate.
It sounds like it's already changing, Maxine.
Yes, I'm seeing it. I'm really, yeah.
Good job.
And that does happen. You can get, if you have the right maneuvering, it could be a snap. And when you actually investigate, You're like, wow, it could start shifting and changing. So that's great. You're a quick flipper. That's what we call flips.
Yes, you want to flip those
Flipper,
stories.
flipper, faster than lightning.
Flipper,
Have you
fascinating.
ever seen? Remember Flipper?
Yes, I love that show.
The
Yeah.
dolphin.
That tells us our age, huh?
Francesca's not, I don't know, no Flipper.
I have no idea what pizza is.
My kids are younger than Francesca and they've seen it.
Flipper was a dolphin, and they trained him, and he was almost human, and somehow he would swim around and rescue people and help people get out of trouble.
Like
Aw, that's
Lassie.
awesome.
Lassie of the dolphins.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay, good. So they feel inadequate. So sometimes we want to even turn that around and say, that feeling is inside of me. So just write down inadequate and we'll look at that later. And what I like to say when I ask that question, what does this mean about me? This is my I am statements. Okay. And these are the powerful ones because they are our beliefs, and our belief sets our brain up to notice that more and more. Okay. So if you're like, how come I'm always the one who's never chosen, or I'm always the one who's poor, or I'm always the one who has bad luck? Well, right, because you set your brain up to notice that because of your experiences. So notice those I am statements that come from this memory and what it means about you. Okay. And then how about, what did they think about you? Yeah, because that's your thoughts too. Which that alone is.
Don't give out the answers.
Don't? That alone is a $2,000. Like, if I knew that way back in the day, like that is something I would have paid thousands of dollars to just know that. Like, what are they thinking about me is my own thoughts. It's actually not theirs.
I think that they were jealous.
Okay. Good.
Envy. There was a lot of enviness there. I don't know why, but yeah.
Because you're special.
Oh, I know. I'm learning to believe that.
Good. Every person is such a unique, special gift. So once we trust that and know that about ourselves, then the better life gets. All right. Good. So you know what they think about you. You know what it means about you. You've got this memory. You know those emotions. And so now we've got what are kind of like the legs that this belief and this memory are standing on. And why would you overreact? Can you see how come? Because you have this in your mind. You have this in your thoughts. And anything that's inside of your thoughts is going to come out. We don't know when, we don't know how come sometimes, but we know that whatever is inside of your thoughts is going to come out, and it is going to produce the same kind of level of catastrophe or joy that's in there.
I thought it was more like it's your subconscious things that are coming out. Like, you're not thinking that you're thinking that, but it comes out in that way. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah. And your memories are in your subconscious. That's what's replaying. So that's exactly what it is. But you don't think about the memory in the moment, right? You're not like, oh, I'm going to yell right now because my dad yelled at me when I was little. No, you're just responding. And then you're like, why did I do that? That's the subconscious.
Unless you had like a lot of talk therapy, then you've gotten a deeper groove, and you've actually gotten to know all your hangups, and we use that as an excuse maybe to keep going. No.
Interesting. No.
Right? No, we don't use it as an excuse to keep going. It's automatic, and there's that part of your brain that it's a code of operation. And so in this line of work, we don't teach you how to cope with it. You actually transform it. And actually, there's this apex thing that occurs that you'll leave this call and you'll be like, I feel good, but I can't even remember what we worked on. Because that's how it'll be effortless.
Yeah. Or you'll be like, it never happened. I love this story. Can I share another story?
Got
Stories.
10 minutes.
Okay. So this lady, one of the first things that really drew me to this lady, she, every time she saw a rendering truck, she couldn't go into, she would call into work. She would start breaking down and crying. She felt so out of control. Like she said, she'd have to pull over on the side of the road and stop the car so she could cry and then get herself back together to drive home and call into work and cancel or wherever she was going. Like then she'd be stuck in bed for 3 days because she saw a rendering truck. Now, isn't this the strangest thing? And she's going like, why? I don't get it. I don't get it. She doesn't even know. Well, then she was asked these questions. And sometimes it's the questions that lead to the most powerful understanding of somebody. And then when we understand where they're coming from, don't we have so much more grace? It's like they're just human. Of course, they're going to react this way because of this belief, because of this whole system that's holding up this overreaction. So she gets a session. And in the session, we find out that when she was little, she had a favorite pet cow. And this cow was like her horse. She rode it, she took it, she walked all over with it. She laid down. She read her books with it. After school, she spent all her nights with it. She came home and one day her parents put a plate in front of her with a steak on it. And they said, this is Susie or whatever her. Yes. So now we have an understanding like, oh, that makes sense. Like this rendering truck is going to bring back all of those memories that she's not even thinking about. That's what her subconscious is doing for her, but it's not benefiting her, right? So she releases all of these memories. She changes it. It becomes this very good and playful and wonderful imagination that she has with her cow and how long it lived and all of these things. And then later, when she was interviewed, 6 months later, she was interviewed. This is the apex effect, okay? Somebody asked her, what do you do when you see a rendering truck now? And she goes, oh, I don't even notice them. So that's the kind of transformation. When you don't even notice that problem anymore exists, or you're like, oh, I didn't even think about that. Now you're actually healed. And that's because you did the work on those memories that are holding all that power. Isn't that awesome?
That's
really awesome.
It is. So, okay, great. So what's next? Lead them on, Rita.
Where did you leave off, Tammy?
They have a good structure. Really good.
What's the structure?
The structure is
you're gonna have to finish it. You just have to finish it.
Oh, I do?
Yeah.
Okay. I get to. Okay. So now what I want you to do is go back and notice that memory and notice all the sensations. So just take a deep breath in and close your eyes. I want you to go back there and feel it for the very last time. You're inside the shoes of your body in that memory, looking out, noticing all the sensations. Make it even worse. The worse you make it, the faster it goes. Notice everything you saw, what you heard, what you felt, what it means about you. And hold on a second. If we're in a black cave and it's pitch black and I turn on all the lights, what happens to the darkness? You all have to answer.
It rushes away. Darkness goes away.
It disappears, doesn't it? Good job. Okay, now we're going to do something really silly. It's called tapping. Are either of you familiar with tapping?
I learned a little about it today, but not too much.
Okay, so we're just going to interrupt the thinking and that brain. Remember, we talked about brain grooves? We're just going to interrupt that brain groove, and you guys are just going to follow me, okay? All right, so I want you to look up and smile and say, we're letting go of all the sadness, all the fear, all the emotional trauma.
All the sadness and fear.
Yeah, we're letting go of the judgment, the abandonment, and the betrayal. Under the eye, we're letting go of the anger, the resentment, and guilt. On the collarbone, we're letting go of the helplessness and hopelessness, the rejections, feelings of no control, the way I overreact, the overwhelm, the overthinking, all of that. Just let it go. And then we're going to take a deep breath in. Blow it all out. we like to hold our wrist. This is a place for anchoring a happy place. We didn't talk about happy memory first. So think about what is your result? What is your end result? Like, what would you really want for your life? Like we talked a little bit about this inner calm. Like if you could be calm all the time, the best you is the calm you, right? What would your end result be that you would love instead of this overreaction? What is it like?
A sense of peace,
Good.
control of myself, not others, but my emotions.
Good job. Yeah. Good. So imagine or notice a time. And if you don't have this, that's fine. You can imagine somebody else. Maybe you've seen a movie where someone was cool, calm, and collected, and they always seem to be so much peace around them. You can just think about that memory.
They call him Flipper, Flipper, faster than lightning. No one you see is smarter than he. And we know Flipper lives in a world full of wonder.
Yeah,
That's
guys,
old.
you can live in a world full of wonder.
Yeah.
Good job. So what I want you to do is find a happy memory. And it can just be, if you have a memory and all you have is one part of it that's happy, that's okay. Just use that one part. Or maybe there's something else that leaves you feeling peaceful or in control of yourself. Maybe it's just seeing a sunset or a sunrise. Maybe it's just a smell of cut grass. I don't know what it is for you, but I want you to know what it is for you, okay? So if your desired outcome is peace or control of yourself, then pick a memory that you remember how good it felt to have that and be that and do that.
I know what mine's is.
Good. What are you going to title it?
The day at the beach.
Awesome. Beaches are the best for good memories. Do you have a good happy memory, Francesca? Good. Okay. Great. So now I will just direct you to go and find that. And whenever we squeeze our wrist at the end, that'll be the time for you to step into that happy memory and that good feeling. Okay. And I'll help you do that as well. So now tell me, who would you be if you felt this way all the time? Like for Maxine, if you felt that beach feeling all the time, who would you be? What is life like? Write down the
I will have very good quality friends. And it's not a lot. And interesting adventures, outings to go and see things that I've maybe was too afraid to go and venture out to see.
Good.
And
So
to
you'd be more
meet
courageous.
meet different people of every ethnicity.
Awesome. Good. So think about the places where you would meet them. I want you to get really detailed about this because this is how you imagine your life different. You know, if you never imagine your life any different, it's probably not going to happen, right? Like it's going to take an act of God for it to change if you're doing the same thing, right? So, you know, as you're being courageous and you're meeting different people, where are you going to go? Where are you going to meet them? Are you going to go to Baja or Belize or Tahiti or Japan? Like think of the places that you want to visit. And
Well, I will go back to Germany and because I was there many years ago when my husband was in the military, and I would really try to learn the language and to be around the people more. And I still have friends in Germany.
Oh, that's wonderful. You'd have a place to stay.
Mm-hmm.
Good. So now we're dreaming, right? So now we're
Mm-hmm.
opening up this imagination that can start to create something differently, because all we did was think about what it's like in your happy memories. And this is how powerful. Remember the traumatic memories, the memories that left you feeling with that negative feeling. That is powerful. And also your happy memory is very powerful. So make sure that you're really using these throughout your day, because they automatically provide this. Remember when I was talking about how hard it was to try all the time? I was trying to think positive. I'm trying to be good and I'm trying to do self-help stuff, but I wasn't doing it because I was just trying, and I'm creating that deep root to try. So when I found, oh, I just have to use my happy memories to feel happy. And all I had to do was remember Flipper, or remember, like for me, I love animals. So remember my horse or my dog, or petting a whale, or going on a horseback ride or something. All I had to do was remember that, and then I would automatically be happy. Wow, that set me free. Like, that's an amazing concept, and it's doable. It's totally doable, right? Because you already have it. It's already a resource in your brain. So use that and make it really great. And then you decide, if I felt this way all the time, what would life be like? And I want you to start dreaming big. I'd be traveling here. I'd be meeting these people. I'd be saying this. What would other people say about you when they meet you?
I remember I'm always drawn to water, like the ocean or rivers or
You.
and when I
Yeah.
was in Germany, I would go to they would have this place where the Rhine River was, and I'd sit out there in the car and just watch the Rhine River go by.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's peaceful.
yeah.
And if you felt that way all the time, what would other people say about you? You wouldn't be overreacting, would you? They'd
It's
be
just
like,
that the way I think that they always would be jealous. You see, I'm going back again. Like
oh,
the people that I know would just be not I guess when they see you happy, I feel like when they see me happy, I don't see them rejoicing in it. So
hmm, interesting. So, uh, what do you think about peaceful people?
I think that I like to be around them.
You do. So you're not jealous of them, you enjoy them.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. So we can just give that feeling over to your friends. But maybe these are just strangers. Maybe you just have this
Mm.
peaceful river flowing and you're just walking down the street. You're in Germany. And what would people think about you? Just knowing that you always have that river flowing, peaceful feel.
Okay, I see.
And that's a great belief to sink into and realize, like, oh, when I'm this person, like, these are some of the things that are important to me. It's important that people when they're around me, they feel good, or they're left better than they better than they came, right?
Yeah.
And those things um are what we want to set up for your future. All right. Okay, so thanks for joining us, Linda. We're just in the middle of this. Grab your pen and paper. We're getting some details about our memories and how things are happening when we overreact inside of us. And we're doing a little bit of tapping. I hope you know a little bit about that, but I'll just, you guys can just follow along. So what I want you to do again is go back and notice that very first memory. And what I want you to do this time is just notice what's changed. Just close your eyes and remember that feeling of the overwhelm, overthinking, or overreacting. And the first time you felt that trapped and afraid or shut down feeling. the first or worst, whichever one you want. And just notice what's changed first.
No tension. I don't feel any tension or like my body just tensed up. Now I know where it is, in my shoulders and my neck.
Ooh, good job.
Nice.
I don't feel
So
that anymore.
good. So trapped is like this tight shoulders and neck feeling for you.
Yes, I
Now
didn't
you
know
can be
where it was
aware.
at.
Yep.
Yeah.
So now
it
your
went away?
body. What was that?
It went away, you said, Maxine?
No, I said I didn't know. Remember you asked me where in my body? I never knew that until just this moment right now.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
And it's feeling more relaxed, you said.
Yes, I'm seeing their faces laugh at me, but I don't feel it in my neck and
Yeah.
shoulders, I guess. Yeah.
Right. And now your body, now that you know that, your body tells on you, right? So when I told you about this feeling in my throat, when I had that ball there, I was like, oh, I must be sad, because my body was telling my emotions on me, because sometimes I tried to ignore them or not pay attention to them. But all of a sudden, now when you feel this tightness and stuff, you're going to be like, oh, I'm feeling trapped. What's going on? And you can start to be aware, right? Okay,
Yeah.
good. So notice what hasn't changed. What part still bothers you? And tell me the rating. 0, it doesn't bother me at all. 10, it's as bad as it can get.
When I think back on that memory,
Yes.
being and I always it's always it only happens around my family. Um, being around my family, I guess I don't.
Good. And it was about a 7 and 8 before. How high is it right now? That trapped and afraid feeling.
When I think about being around them, it is still like I think it went to a 9,
Okay, good job. So now you're
maybe a 10.
recognizing what you're doing and who it is that triggers you, right?
Yes, being around my family. That
Good.
yeah.
All right. And Francesca, what do you notice?
I'd say it went from a 10 to like a 7.
Okay, good job. All right. So now just notice what part still bothers you. Notice the faces or the action that it is. Okay. And just say, let it go. Smile. We're going to tap. Let it go. Tap beside the eye. I'm letting this go.
I'm letting it go.
As I let this go, it flows out. It's good to let it go. That's right. Deep breath in. Flow it all away. And remember that happy memory. Yes. Squeeze your wrist. Feel that happy memory. Who are you in that happy memory? I'm what? Give me 3 emotions.
Peaceful.
I'm sorry.
Nope. You guys can both go.
Peaceful. Easygoing.
Good. I'm peaceful. I'm easygoing. Anything else?
I think I'm in control.
Yes.
I'm in the present.
I love it. Very important. I'm in control. I'm in the present. I'm peaceful. I'm calm. I'm easygoing. Okay. And notice that happy memory. And what I want you to do is step into it. So we know we have beaches, and imagine your toes in the sand. Look out, listen to the water. Whatever your happy memory is for you, Francesca, just imagine that you're right there right now. And breathe in that smell. You know the smell when you're there.
Everyone loves the king of the sea, ever so kind and gentle is he.
Dolphins jumping up and kissing your toes and playing with you. Just use that big, and notice that pretty color in this memory too. Which colors stand out? It's really beautiful.
The white froth from the waves.
Good.
The smell of the sea.
Mm-hmm.
The when the waves come in and out, it seems like it's a breath in and a breath out. Even in between the waves, there's a silent moment where there's a slight pause. If you listen, you can hear it.
Yes. Notice that
And
silence. That is the sound of peace.
mhm.
All of those sensations are inside of you, and you can create this at any time. You ladies can create this sensation inside of you anytime you want from now on. And the more you do it, the more you're going to be exactly who you want in the future. All right. Deep breath in, blow it out, and say peace. And let's go back and notice that memory. And now we want to notice what's changed again. Let's notice what's different.
My attention is toward a goal of peace.
Yes. Good job.
I feel like I don't even care to go back there.
That's right. Good. All right. So now what I want you to do, both of you are having some changes. I want you to step into the other person's shoes and notice what stands out. Okay. Just notice what they notice. So Maxine, you're going to step into your family, whoever it is, maybe the person that you mostly overreact against or with, or have the most issues with. Step into their shoes and then notice the situation.
Francesca's already.
I know that they were something happened, a tragedy happened to them, and I don't know exactly, but I know that it has scarred them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they notice what in this memory?
Huh?
What did they notice in this memory that you were talking about?
If I'm them,
Yeah.
what do they notice? Oh, they see me shining and happy and free, and they want to be like that. They
Good.
want to get loosened.
Good job. Okay. And how about for you, Francesca? Anything you want to share?
Yeah, I feel like because I'm unfazed or like I'm still happy, they're embarrassed about what they said.
Okay, good. So, as I said earlier, what we think they think of us is actually what we think it's inside of us. Okay, just it's in our thinking, right? So, therefore, it's in our head and in our own body. Does that make sense? So, whatever we think about them, we just say it about ourselves. This is a great technique that works miracles. Whenever I think like, oh, he's a brat or she's conniving, or then I say, I'm conniving, let it go. Because I can't think what they're thinking if I'm not thinking it. So I just want to explain that to you, okay? So
Okay.
if this person has trauma or whatever it is that's making them like that, then you just say, I'm letting go of their trauma. I let go of my trauma, the way I saw their trauma, the way I feel their trauma. And then you would say, I'm letting go of embarrassment. I'm so embarrassed. I let go of all their embarrassment, and just tap along and just say, let it go.
Let it go.
I'm letting go of what they think. All right.
I always say I forgive myself and I forgive others, and I love myself and I love others.
There you go. But it's okay for them to forgive themselves and love others too.
Right.
Yeah. Deep
Right.
breath in. Blow it all away. And this is a total different understanding of forgiveness. We change the memory. The brain changes the memory because of us doing this back and forth with a happy memory. I want you to find that happy memory, step into it, smell it, notice who you are in control, in peace, in calm, in ease. And just enjoy the color. Feel the color go from your top of your head to your toes and back up and settle right where it's needed. Notice how this happy memory leaves you in control. This is who you really are. This is what you were created for. This is the authentic you. And you want to be acting like this more and more often. And now you can. Deep breath in and out. Peace. Good job. All right, let's go back and notice again. Notice that first memory. Notice what's changed. Is there any part that still bothers you?
I just see it now for what it really is. I have to love me to love them.
Nice. That's right. You take
I have to put the mask on my face first before I
exactly.
rescue anyone else.
That's right. When you love yourself, it shines and it's so easy to love others. What is it you said this morning, Rita? You said, be kind to yourself, love yourself, because what you do inside yourself is going to come out on others. Is what you do to others. Yeah. That's what overreacting does, right? We're creating these stories in our head. We're overthinking and causing trauma and drama in our head. And then it blows up on someone else. And then we're like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. But guess what? It was inside of your head. And that's what comes out in those moments, right?
Mm-hmm. It really does.
Good. And what has changed for you, Francesca?
I just don't feel as affected.
Okay, good. And is there any part of it that still bothers you? Notice that number that you wrote down. Your one memory was a 10, one was a 5.
Yeah, definitely more like a 3 now. And the part that still bothers me is that I don't know if I fully believe that I'm over it.
Okay, good.
Nice.
Can't fully believe I'm over it. Good. So notice how over is a metaphor for something. How big is that hill or that mountain that you have to go over in order to be over it? How big, what is it made out of? Think of some of those details. How are you creating this I have to be over it feeling inside of you? As soon as you
Don't know.
So if you said I have to be over it, how high over it do you have to be? How many feet or inches?
Oh, okay. Like 200 feet.
200 feet over it. That's a lot. Okay. Let go of this 200 feet over it feeling. Just let it go. I'm making up this number anyway. We always smile. We always feel our fingers. We're distracting the brain. Okay. Make the sound of that little flipper dolphin. What did the dolphin say?
I know what the song says. Flipper.
My daughter can do it pretty good. Something like that. Yeah, just let it all go. Whatever I made up that it has to be 200 feet, let it go. Right? Deep breath in. Blow it all away. As you blow it all away, step into that happy feeling, happy memory. Notice the peace, the calm, the ease, being in control of yourself. What it smells like, feels like, looks like.
It just feels like a very large, heavy rock was removed. To me, I really feel there's such a long time of family issues to have this it like a weight to be lifted off.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Congratulations. And you did it.
Thank you.
The burden is light, right? The burden of love is light. When we're out of alignment of love, joy, and peace, that's when it becomes heavy and difficult, right?
Yes.
Good. All right, so let's go back and notice. And for you, Maxine, if things have changed, just notice it like you're just this most loving person and everyone is responding in loving ways, whatever you need this to become so you can maintain that peace and calm and that feeling of all this control of yourself.
Yeah.
Good job. Is there any part that still bothers you, Francesca?
Yes. I mean, it's the same feeling, but I feel like the mountain's getting a little shorter.
Good job.
That's a good thing.
It's okay for this mountain to shrink as I let it go.
Or maybe you can grow taller, Francesca. Maybe you just grow taller.
Oh, that would be neat. That's a
Maybe you grab
superpower.
the trampoline and you go.
Jump higher.
I like that.
Good job. The cow jumped over the moon. That's a big, long ways.
Francesca jumped over the mountain.
That's right.
You
Easily.
can make a story out of that, Francesca.
Rita is,
Painting.
I'm watching. I'm sorry. I'm watching Rita reach into the universe.
Yeah. I love that.
Francesca, you could do a drawing of you on a trampoline jumping over like Superwoman, you know, overcoming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I love that.
funny.
I'm holding the whole world in my hands.
The whole world in my
I end up.
hands.
I got a smell. I have a smell of patchouli that came.
Ooh, I like that.
Is that a good one?
Yes, I love patchouli.
Me too.
Nice.
Love it. Good job. Take that patchouli and sprinkle it around inside that memory.
Yes.
Okay. And Francesca, you go back and you have like little springs on your shoes, and you have
rockets, some rockets.
Little rockets. You're bouncing around with rockets, and just notice what's changed. Notice what's become lighter. Notice others' reactions. What is their face? What are their faces like?
I know that my mouth would be shaped in the letter O when I saw you fly over the mountain.
Good. What do you notice on their faces? Smile.
They're laughing, but not at me, just at the fact that I have springs on my shoes.
Good. Good job. And how is your family, Maxine, now that you have the patchouli and you have peace and joy?
They are welcoming. They're beginning. It's not a fast thing now. They're beginning to take those frowns and faces, and they're starting to melt away all of the
Good job.
angry looks. So
you know what really helps them to get to change their frowns? If you just close your eyes and notice their little frowns and just turn them upside down. Just take them. Now look, their frown is a smile, isn't it?
Yes.
It's in our head, guys. It's our head. It's very creative. We think about crazy things all day long. Let's make it for our benefit.
Yeah. And Linda, how are you doing in there, Linda?
Hi. Yeah, no, I'm just listening.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, welcome. I didn't know if you wanted to participate or just enjoy the show or get some tidbits.
Oh, I don't know. I'm pretty tired, but so I've done a little tapping before.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So whatever, just you pick something light, something easy, at least practice a happy memory. That's what we would encourage you this late in the game.
Definitely.
Okay.
Get those happy memories, like solidify them. You guys make a happy journal. All you're going to write about is all those happy sensations so that when you need it, you just have to grab your wrist and be like, I'm in my happy memory. I'm in my happy memory. I'm in my, and your brain will go, oh yeah, just relax. And then you react differently, you respond differently, and you have so much more control over over your physical body. Okay.
Is that part of the EFT? Is that part of it, or is that something else that you come up with?
This is Faster EFT or Utaptics. So it has many dimensions to it. It's NLP, hypnosis, EFT, and other brain training tools that are kind of all added together. The EFT is used for interrupting the brain groove, basically, the brain pathway. So it's rewiring.
I guess I haven't heard of that. What you were talking about, it sounds kind of like an installation process like they use with the EMDR.
Right.
What you're talking about is I'm going to be doing some EMDR with my therapist. I talked him into getting that training because I used to be a therapist. I was not trained in EMDR, but I know quite a bit about it. Sure. So I'll be doing that. The EMDR will be interesting because he doesn't do the tapping, which I found to be somewhat useful. But I didn't know that you had an installation you could use with it. So that I guess I just don't know very much about it. It just made me, when you said that, I thought, oh, I guess there's a lot I'm missing here. And hypnosis, I really believe in that a lot. I guess I didn't know hypnosis could be a part of it too. So,
yeah, it's a cool. He kind of mixed things together to really give fast changes and to give people the experience of changing their experiences so that their subconscious doesn't use it any longer. It's not necessary.
Oh, that's great. So do you have this information somewhere? I guess because I missed out on a lot today on the hypnosis and on the NLP and all of that. Is it written down somewhere, like on a website that I can access, or no?
Well, we did go, Linda, we did go, hi, my name is Rita. We did go live on YouTube. So did you sign up through the Stop Technique?
Through Meetup.
Oh, so did you sign in through our website, which is you submitted if you haven't, I can send it to you. It is basically you opt in for this PDF. We send you the PDF, we send you how to use it, and then we will invite you to other calls that we have in the next 2 months.
Yeah, I did opt in. That's right. I did opt in after once I was in, listening to you, I did opt in. So yeah, okay, great. I just haven't looked at any of it. Okay, great.
Yes. And we'll go over that as well.
Good. All right, so let's go back again, ladies. Let's just notice what's changed and allow your brain to get really playful with this, okay? Because it is your mind and it's not happening right now. So this is going to give you automatic results that you're like, oh, I didn't notice this, or oh, this doesn't bother me anymore. Isn't this awesome? Okay, so let's make it playful. All right, notice if it's a 0 or if it's a 0 or a 1. If it's way down there where it barely bothers you, let me know. Is yours all good, Maxine? Everyone's standing and smiling?
It seems like I can't. It seems like I can't remember it. Like I'm trying to remember the whole thing.
Okay, good job. That's perfect. So now just
why
you want it.
It's that apex that we were telling you. Your neural connections just got whatever gets fired together gets wired together. So as Tammy's working on happy memories and you're coming in and out, in and out, in and out of that memory, it disappears. So if your intention is to be happy and you visit a sad memory, you will change that. It works the other way too. And that's what depressed people do. Depressed people think of all the depression and all the stories of all the times this hurt, pain happened. So that's how you get depression, and it's really deep and embedded. So yeah, what fires together wires together, Maxine. So I am so happy for you.
Yes. So now this means that you can make it the way you want it. So who would you be? How would it turn out? All those people smiling and loving you for being so peaceful and giving them that river feeling.
They're giving me hugs and
awesome. Good.
And telling me nice things, and there's smiles everywhere. All I see is teeth smiling.
I love it. All right, Francesca, how are you doing?
A lot better.
Awesome. Okay, so this is great. Maxine's already getting hugs. What I want to know is if they're smiling and you invited them over for a hug, would they come?
Yes, they would.
They would. Good job, both of you. This is like
Look, they're standing in line for hugs. I'm actually charging them.
so just invite them over. And you know what? This is the person inside of you. It's not them anyways, but it's making peace with the person inside of you. Okay.
Yeah.
If it's a monster, if it's somebody that's done all these awful things, but you're thinking about them as that, then that's inside of you. So we definitely want to make peace with them. So squeeze them as tightly as they're squeezing you. And now this is something I like to write down. I want you to whisper in their ear what you need to hear. And this is going to be only positive things. Okay. It's not going to be the I'm sorry's. It's going to be, I need to hear this. You're beautiful. You're wonderful. I'm so inspired by you. Whatever it is, tell them what you need to hear. And these are beautiful affirmations that you can believe. So your subconscious isn't going to fight you on them. So write them down, look at them, repeat them every day.
One I wrote, because you're free, I'm free.
All right. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And now you can listen to what they tell you.
Okay.
And listen in their voice. You know how to make their voice in your head, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I just say, wow.
I love it. Good.
Who would have ever known?
Isn't that beautiful?
Wow.
And just let these changes for you.
It just feels so, you guys, it's just all of this many decades of trauma of all of this. How can it just be gone like that? Is this really real? Like,
believe it. Believe it.
Yeah. The brain is fast, Maxine. The brain is fast. I mean, it's picking up billions of information right here, right now. And it's processing it. So our conscious is a little bit slower, but it definitely will process fast. Yeah. You know, how long have you been living with this kind of, memory or hurts or pains? You said a generation.
Well, I think it's been going on from the time maybe that I know of a little girl, but as I became more aware of it is when I got older in my 30s and stuff. I'm about 59 now, but I've been dealing with that because I want the closeness of my sisters. Like, there are 17 of us. I'm the number 14th child. And we all have the same mother and father. And we're so, especially with the pandemic, we're so far apart. And I just yearn for us to be together and to encourage each other as sisters. Yeah. But we've all been through so much trauma, and there's like, I don't know, but I like that when I whisper in their ear, and I love that. It just doesn't seem, it's weird. Like, why do I want not to accept it? It's like, how can it be this easy?
Easy breezy.
Yes. And I want you to just imagine squeezing them until they go right into your heart. They just melt right into your heart, because you know why it's easy is because it's your mind and you wanted it all along. Okay.
Wow.
And all you have to do is believe and think about it. We think about what we don't want so often. Let's think about what we do want and feel good. Okay. And now just notice that life is becoming easier and easier because you know that you have this peace in this memory. And that allows you to react completely differently, to show up differently, and to be more true to the real you. Having those friends, taking those trips, doing those adventures, being courageous and brave, meeting different people, and just taking
Yeah.
this peace wherever you go. People say about you, here comes that woman that leaves me feeling so good, so peaceful, so wonderful.
Yeah.
Because you took the time to do what you needed for yourself inside of yourself. Right? Good job. Deep breath in. And allow these changes to occur even as you sleep tonight. Before you go to sleep, think about how you want life to be. You think about what you want in your life. And then your subconscious works on that for you. You make it easy by doing it this way.
It's so weird because it's so true that we're just on the negative. Like I'm always look at the negative. Even when you turn on it, it's the negative. It's not, nobody brings forth the good. And that is the most beautiful thing. And we might have more good things that happen to us than bad, but we amplify the bad. And we dwell on it. We dwell on it.
Yeah.
And it's a new way to think. Like my mind still wants to go back and forth. It's like, but how could this be? I'm going through a
paradigm
shift.
Woo! Paradigm shift.
Man, and I'm like, but I want to, but I know, but I'm like, come on, you guys, what is this? Am I?
Yes.
Take me out of the hypnosis.
That's yes to life, Maxine. We do this, Maxine, right now. And when you feel that greatness, that wonder, that experience in life, you're saying yes to life. This is you saying yes to experiences. So every time that feeling, you don't start questioning should it, would it, could it. Just say yes. The moment you realize that this is good, this feels great, just, Tammy likes doing the high five. In the morning, you wake up, give yourself a high five. Yes. You become alive. You come alive. For things to change is you have to change first. You will notice, Maxine and Francesca, you guys will notice that you'll get a call out of the blue. You'll get a special something from the siblings. This paradigm shift is going to shift other people because you changed first.
Yeah, that stuff works. I've had clients that said, I haven't talked to my mom in 10 years and she called me up out of the blue. Her mom didn't do a session with me. So that's amazing stuff. Like there's what we do inside of ourselves manifests. Yeah. It's really cool. Awesome.
So what's your I am statement for the week? What are you guys choosing to live into? So if you take this memory and it's been flipped, like Tammy was saying, who do you get to be? Write that down. That's your anchor word. If it was love, compassion, or whatever it is, and every morning for a whole week, I choose whatever. I choose love. I choose grace, abundance. Because now every morning you're going to give direction to that reticular activation system in your brain, and it's going to look for that peace, love, compassion, courtesy, whatever it is.
Yes.
So write it down, and then put it in your mirror, on your car, if you're driving. Are you driving, Maxine?
No, I turned my video on so you guys could see me. And I'm sitting in my living room and I'm enjoying this session. And
are you in Arizona or Wisconsin or?
I'm in California.
Oh,
awesome.
I'm like an hour away from the beaches.
Yeah.
Nice. You'll find yourself wanting to go there more often and do it for yourself. Like just love yourself enough to be like, yeah, I'm going to go to the beach today. I'm going to go enjoy, make some more happy memories, right?
Well, we have a lot of rivers and creeks because the water runs down from the mountains, and the those are very much more closer. They're only 30 minutes away, and I always go up there, but I
Are
love
you
it.
in Lake Isabella?
Well, I'm near Big Bear and Big Bear, California, where they have all the San Bernardino mountains and all of that.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
There. Very
Great.
good.
So now we do want you to practice your happy memory. So the happy memory is that new transitioned memory where you're bouncing around and, you know, everyone's smiling. And for Maxine, where everyone's in line. And what was the other thing? Oh, maybe they're standing on their heads. I don't know. You're doing tricks for each other, whatever. And imagine it even better every time. So every time you visit it, make it even more exciting. Okay. Maybe there's fireworks, maybe there's puppies, maybe there's
money in your purse.
Money. Yeah. Whatever it is, like just practice it that way. All right. It feels really silly, but it is the way that our child brain works to imagine like all of these wonderful things. And then somewhere we learn to only imagine bad things. So we're going to change that around, flip it, and imagine playful, fun, happy, joyful things, and just practice
do your
it.
homework. Do your homework, because that means you value this change, you value, and you want us to keep creating that groove. You know, wherever you put your time, money, and energy is what you value. So keep working on you, be good to you, you know, because what you do within you, you do it out there to people.
Right. And also more of that is attracted to you. Right. Yeah.
And I know that it's true because I have a story to share. I don't know if I have time or you guys will let me. You have to let me know.
Rita,
are we complete?
Huh?
I can stop the live stream and